I bought 2 packs of dried plums using the shared payment on the bullet train. My boyfriend exploded. He scolded me for being materialistic and gold digging, and even said that I was no different from a gold digger. I cried and trembled. I transferred the money back and broke up. The school hunk quickly bought 10 packs of dried plums and piled them in front of me. Don't cry. They're all for you. If it's not enough, I'll buy more. On the bullet train back to school, Red fought with me for the last pack of free sample dried plums. I didn't get it. Red ate the dried plums in front of me. He also mockingly laughed at me for having short arms. Shorty, if you want to eat, ask your boyfriend to buy them for you. Why? Is your boyfriend reluctant to even buy a bag of snacks for you? I raised my chin and held up my phone. Cut. My boyfriend has set up shared payment for me. Seeing Red's face gradually darken, I suddenly felt much better. I wasn't afraid at all. I asked the salister to get me 2 packs and also took a bottle of water. In total, it was 67 yuan. I gave Red on the other side of the aisle a disdainful look, and then enjoyed my little snack beautifully. It was really delicious. I ate 1 pack. I planned to bring the other pack to my boyfriend Keone to taste. At this time, my phone rang. It was Keone. Keone's first sentence was asking me, "What did you just buy?" My mind hadn't turned around yet. I answered blankly, "I bought dried plum snacks." Let me tell you this. Before I could finish speaking, I was interrupted. His voice rose, filled with anger. "Layla, you bought things on the bullet train? Don't you know things on the bullet train are very expensive? When did you become so materialistic?" I was instantly aggrieved. My heart sank to the bottom of a lake. How am I being materialistic by buying things on the bullet train? So it's not your own money that's being spent, right? I understood. He was blaming me for using the shared payment he set up for me. Keone on the other end was still talking nonstop. "Do you know how long my mom has to mop the floor and do how much work to earn these 67 yuan? Spending money so lavishly like this. What's the difference between you and those gold-digging women?" Me? Gold-digging? Woman who fishes for men? I was so shocked that I couldn't say a word. Perhaps seeing that I didn't speak for a long time, Keone's attitude softened a bit. "I'm not blaming you. I just hope you can be more thrifty. Don't do this again in the future." The carriage was very quiet. I didn't wear headphones. Although it wasn't on speakerphone, the phone sound was still very loud. The inquiring look from Red next to me made me very uncomfortable. Just now I was showing off my boyfriend's shared payment. Right after paying, my boyfriend's blaming call came. Rather than being embarrassed, I was more disappointed. This shared payment was set up not long after I agreed to be with Keone. The monthly limit is 520 yuan. I have never used it. Tears slid down and widened. I won't do it anymore in the future. I didn't want to argue with him on the train by phone. I quickly hung up the phone and transferred the 67 yuan back to Keone. The other party received it instantly. Then he said, "I accidentally clicked it by mistake." Me, "I've already returned the money to you. Let's break up." Keone, "Just because I asked you to be more economical?" I quickly blocked and deleted him. I was really blind to agree to his pursuit. I knew that Keone's family situation wasn't good. He was from a single-parent family. His mother was a cleaner. He always said that his mother's monthly salary was 3,000 yuan and it wasn't easy to raise him. At first, I still thought he was really filial and caring. He was a good man who knew how to be thrifty. So when he set up shared payment for me, I was very touched. In order to reduce his burden, when we went on dates, we went to food stalls and small restaurants. For outings, we went to free parks. He said he wanted to save up betrothal gifts to marry me now. I was very touched. So most of the time, I paid the bill. During the summer vacation, my parents were going to take me on a trip. Keone knew about it. He said, "I really envy that you can go on a trip. My mom has to work day and night." She has to think for a long time even if she wants to eat an extra steamed bun for breakfast. He also said that I should not go on a trip to save money and save up for my dowry. The more I thought about it, the more aggrieved I became. Tears fell more and more. I didn't dare to cry out loud on the train. I could only lie on the small table and sob. I put dried plums in my mouth while sobbing. I bought them all by myself. I'll eat them all. If it's not enough, I'll buy more. Suddenly something poked me. Turning around, it was that annoying Red. The corners of his mouth were almost reaching his ears. What did he mean? Mocking me? I was emotionally broken. Tears fell like they were free. Red was really annoying. He told Keone that I spent money lavishly, and said bad things about me. Now he was mocking me again. I tried to lower my voice as much as possible. Red. Is it fun to mock me? I broke up now. Are you satisfied? Sure enough. I saw an even bigger smile on his face. I cried even harder. No. No, don't cry. I'm not mocking you. Saying that, he put a big plastic bag in front of me. Inside were all dried plums. These are all for you. Don't cry. If it's not enough, I'll buy more. Me. My mind went blank. It didn't seem like mocking would involve scattering snacks. Right? I asked him, what do you mean? Red was actually embarrassed and scratched his head. That. You broke up? I nodded, yes. That's right. Red, then can I pursue you? Theft. Along with the girl wearing headphones and sleeping with her eyes closed next to me bursting into laughter. Surrounding there were bursts of laughter, and accompanied by everyone's whispered discussions. I was completely shocked. What did you say? Red smiled and repeated it again. I said, Layla, can I pursue you? I instantly felt my cheeks and ears burning. How could it be? Red and Keone were roommates. But I hated him very much. When I was with Keone, he would always spoil our dates. In the middle of a date, he would call Keone back to school to help him with some unimportant things. Once when I was watching a movie with Keone, he even followed directly. He always stuck to Keone. I even suspected that he was gay and liked Keone. But Keone told me that Red had a girl he liked. There was a photo of her. It was placed behind his phone case and he treasured it very much. At that time, I still thought he was affectionate. Bah! Thinking of this, I was even more certain. This person said he wanted to pursue me just to taunt me. Looking at his extremely handsome face that made people resentful, I was even angrier. God was so unfair. Letting bad people be so good looking. I pushed the things in front of me away. I don't want it. Red sat back in his seat disappointed lie. It was right next to me. Suddenly he turned his head and said again, if you finish eating these, there are more. If it's not enough, I'll buy more for you. Me. Red followed me all the way onto the subway, carrying his bag of dried plums. The subway was crowded. People were close to each other. He stood behind me, and was almost pressed against me. As the train stopped and started again, I instantly fell backward and bumped into a hot chest. His body heat enveloped my entire back through the thin shirt. I instantly felt my ears heat up. The person behind me chuckled. After holding my shoulders with both hands and straightening me up, he put his backpack in front. Hold on to my backpack. This time I didn't refuse. I said softly, thank you. As soon as I turned my head, I saw Keone. He was propping up the door. In his arms was my roommate Natalie. A wave of soreness welled up in my heart. The hand holding the backpack tightened. Back in the dormitory, the other two roommates had already arrived and had packed up. The dormitory head Olivia was humming and mopping the floor. Layla, you're here? Why are your eyes red? They're all swollen? Olivia suddenly picked up the bracelet on my wrist and her eyes lit up. Wow. A big gold bracelet. Grandma said I was too thin to hold down good fortune. I need to wear some gold to hold it down. This was bought for me by Grandma, Mom and Dad, when they went on a trip during the summer vacation. It is said that the gold price there is relatively low. I wore it for the first time today. After breaking up. I don't know if it counts as holding down good fortune. Lila puffed up her cheeks and came over to look. Can I take a bite and see? We were all amused by her appearance. At this time, Natalie came in. The atmosphere suddenly changed. When her eyes met the bracelet on my wrist, her face turned pale. No one spoke. Olivia and Lila didn't talk to her either. It was so strange. To ease the atmosphere, I took a pack of dried plums and handed it to Natalie. I have dried plums here. Do you want to try some? They're quite delicious. But her eyes were not on the dried plums. Instead, she stared closely at my wrist. Suddenly her eyes changed. She disgustedly slapped away the snack in my hand. Layla, what are you showing off? Can't I afford dried plums? She pinched my wrist. So rich and still using other people's money to buy things? I think this bracelet of yours was bought with a man's money. I didn't seem to have offended her. I was scolded for no reason. My anger flared up. Don't spout nonsense here. The bracelet was bought by Mom and Dad. The 67 yuan from Keone has long been returned to him. Who cares? Is my family short of 67 yuan? Natalie's face turned red, and then white. Seeing that a fight was about to break out, Olivia and Lila came over to pull me away. The dormitory head mediated. Natalie finally didn't say anything. Keone and Natalie were from the same place and the same high school. At the beginning, it was Natalie who brought him out to meet us and said they were good friends. Later, when Keone pursued me, Natalie didn't show any reluctance. We were always at peace. It was even because Natalie kept saying that Keone was very good that I agreed to try aiding Keone. Although I broke up with Keone now, I don't think this will affect my relationship with Natalie. In the evening, Olivia invited us to eat barbecue. It was a newly opened self-service barbecue opposite the school. During the start of the school year, all the customers were students from our school. After finally getting a place in line, the waiter arranged a seat for us. Unfortunately, the table next to us was actually Keone and Red. It should be a dormitory gathering. Keone was slightly stunned when he saw me. Looking at Natalie next to me, his eyes began to wander and the smile on his lips froze. Red next to him had a smile on his lips and was propping up his head as if watching a big show. Olivia and the others who didn't know what was going on even suggested that we combine the tables and eat together. Although I didn't want to. I didn't want to make it too ugly since everyone knew each other. I picked a seat farthest from Keone. Keone took the initiative to change seats and sit next to me. Everyone thought we were just having a spat. They even urged Keone to coax me. I directly said, "We have already broken up." Keone's smile froze on his face. He frowned. His tone seemed aggrieved. Layla, there should be a limit to being temperamental. I don't blame you for spending money recklessly anymore. Don't make trouble. Okay? For the first time, I felt that Keone was so shameless. I'm not making trouble. I said, we have already broken up. Looking at my calm and unruffled face, the somewhat flattering expression on his face cracked completely. Are you really going to break up with me for just 67 yuan? My mother works so hard to earn money every day. What's wrong with me hoping that you can be more thrifty? But what does your mother's hard work to earn money have to do with Layla? Layla, who had bulging cheeks and was fishing for fat beef across the table, looked up blankly and asked. Olivia quickly nudged her with her elbow. And then the two quickly buried their heads and continued eating. I was amused. Good baby. Really my best spokesperson. I've already returned the money to you. We've also broken up. The next second, Red suddenly sat down on my other side. I was startled. He started constantly putting delicious food into my bowl. Everyone looked at him in unison, not understanding what was wrong with this young master all of a sudden. I blocked the bowl in front of me that had already piled up like a small mountain. Red. What are you doing? Red looked at me very seriously, his eyes full of expectation. Layla, now that you are officially single again, So, can I pursue you? Me? No, big brother. I just broke up with your good brother a second ago. You are blatantly slapping him in the face. Everyone had an expression of watching the drama. Out of the corner of my eye, I saw that Keone's face turned green. He stood up suddenly. He gritted his teeth tightly. His hanging hand was clenched tightly. The veins bulged and trembled a little. What do you mean? Be Red? Are you stealing my girl? Be Red looked indifferent. You've already broken up. Does it matter to you who pursues her? Keone suddenly understood. No wonder. No wonder when I showed you Layla's photo. You, a rich young master, suddenly wanted to be good brothers with me. So this was your intention? Keone pretended to hit someone. His other two roommates quickly got up and held him back. Natalie smiled sarcastically. So it turns out that you found someone richer. Isn't it just because you despise brother Keone for being poor? As soon as these words came out, Keone was instantly devastated. What kind of person are you? Layla? You wouldn't even let me touch you when we were together. Clearly a gold-digging slut but still pretending to be a chaste woman in front of me? I only felt a buzzing in my ears. My whole body was icy cold. My mind was a bit numb and in a daze. I couldn't believe such harsh and hurtful words would come out of his mouth. Tears instantly welled up. Be Red stood up. The two of them were like fighting cocks. Fortunately, they were stopped by two roommates. I was close and to hear the creaking sound of Be Red's clenched fist. We made a lot of noise. People around us looked sideways one after another. Be Red is the famous school hunk in the school. Some people were even taking pictures and recording videos. I pulled Be Red. I didn't want to make things too big. Keone left. Natalie followed him, and left together. I thought this table would disperse. Unexpectedly, when I turned around, Olivia and Lila were eating happily. Me. Lila moved beside me to comfort me. Baby, don't be sad. It's good that you broke up. During the summer vacation, when Keone and Natalie went out to play together and posted those ambiguous moments on WeChat, I thought it was wrong. Me, what going out? What moments? It turned out that during the summer vacation, Keone wouldn't let me go out to play. But he went on a trip with Natalie himself. His so-called thriftiness was just to make me save money for him. It's really double standard. I picked up the empty beer can next to me and crushed it instantly. After eating, Olivia and Lila said they had something to do and asked Be Red to send me back to the dormitory first. His two roommates also left for their own business. Only Be Red and I were left walking back to school slowly. The dim streetlights stretched our shadows very long. Perhaps because I had just drunk half a can of wheat juice. I felt my face was a bit hot. It must be the fault of the wheat juice. We were silent all the way. Be Red sent me downstairs to the dormitory. I said, "Give me your QR code." Be Red obediently took out his phone and gave it to me. I clicked on the payment code and transferred the money for the dried plums to him. Be Red frowned tightly and his face gradually darkened. Are you comparing me to that thing? There's no way. I'm really scared. My relationship with you hasn't reached the point where I can freeload on your things. Although he said he wanted to pursue me. After this incident, I said, I've been honest. Please let me go. Be Red sighed. As if compromising. Forget it. You can spend my money when you are willing to accept me. Believe it or not. I just like you. I really want to pursue you. There was a sparkle in his eyes. I could see that there was sincerity in his eyes. At night, Natalie didn't return to the dormitory. When she came back, she had several love bites on her neck. She also posted on Moments. The one who suddenly appears is ultimately no match for the childhood sweetheart. The picture was a group photo of her and Keone. She was wearing a low-cut tank top and showing off a neck full of love bites. Swaying around in the dormitory. Everyone knew what she meant. Am I not uncomfortable? Actually, there is still some discomfort. I really liked Keone and seriously wanted to be with him. But now it doesn't matter anymore. I forced myself to quickly get out of this relationship. I went to the library to study and prepare for CET4 and CET6. What happened in the barbecue restaurant was recorded by a classmate and posted on the school confession wall. The focus was on the scene where B. Red confronted Keone directly and played it straight. Confess to B. Red. I want to have a relationship like this in my lifetime. Below were all the comments from classmates. Laughing so hard. Afraid that someone will snatch him if a second is slower. Not being coy. So direct. I love it. I didn't expect the school hunk to be like this. A friend's wife should not be bullied. Bullshit friend's wife. He only pursued after they broke up. A proper rebound guy. There were also those who shipped me and B. Red. Isn't it very sweet? When she had a boyfriend, he silently guarded. When she was cheated on, he firmly protected her. Yes, he really loves her. I just looked at these comments. After some time, when everyone has had enough of the drama, they will forget. B. Red really started to pursue me. Saying good morning and good night. Sending flowers and gifts were all no problem. He followed me wherever I went. It perfectly aired what it meant to be shameless. In an elective course, he would suddenly appear and sit next to me. Then he would pass me a small note. It said, looking at the sky at dawn and the clouds at dusk. Whether walking or sitting. I miss you. So corny. When I went to the convenience store to buy water, B. Red came over with an ice cream. I like you for no reason Yili Kiao Lezi. The classmates around burst into laughter. Me. I just wanted to find a crack to crawl into. B. Red would go to the small cafeteria in advance to line up and grab the big sweet and sour pork ribs for me. The super big ones. They are only available on Wednesdays. Each student is limited to one. For this matter, I think he is still very good as always. While gnawing on the ribs, I asked him, why are the ribs you buy so big every time? B. Red winked playfully at me. I've been buying them for more than a semester. I've become brothers with the big brother who serves the food. Yes. When I was with Keone, I could always get his ribs. Keone said that B. Red didn't like to eat these ribs. Every time he gave the ribs to Keone, then most of them went into my stomach. Lila said that chasing me only needed a big sweet and sour pork rib from the small cafeteria. Because it was after Keone bought me sweet and sour pork ribs for a month that I agreed to be with him. Olivia said, the first time I fall in love and I meet a jerk like Keone. Will Layla be afraid to fall in love again in the future? B. Red is in danger. I thought for a while, his being bad is his problem. I can't punish myself for others' mistakes. Right? We can't generalize. I can't remember how many times it has been. As soon as I walked out of the dormitory door, I saw B. Red coming this way with breakfast from a distance. I took a bite of the steaming meat bun. Looking at him, I asked the confusion in my heart. Did you install a tracker on me? Otherwise, how can you appear on time every time? B. Red handed over the soy milk with a straw inserted. I have your class schedule. When you don't have classes, you either go to the library or the student union. You will always come out of the dormitory building. What if I suddenly sleep in and don't go out? If I can't wait for the rabbit, I'll come again tomorrow. Me. What a case of waiting for rabbits. Shimoni would never accompany me to the library, let alone buy breakfast and wait for me to go out early in the morning. Without an 8 a.m. class, he would rather sleep in the dormitory. I took a sip of soy milk. Can you change it to coffee next time? B. Red was instantly overjoyed and grinned foolishly. Okay. After a while, he spoke again. Then can I make a request? I said. Brother, you are a bit pushing your luck. I signaled with my eyes for him to speak. Can you be my girlfriend? He has asked me this question many times. From the beginning when I blushed to later when I was immune. I walked away first, leaving him behind. It depends on your performance. B. Red let out a wail. Then he quickly followed. Do you like me so much? Like very much. Super like. I didn't expect Keone to come to me again. I was coming out of the library while drinking Starbucks coffee. Keone was holding a cup of lemonade from Mixui Bing Cheng and pulled me at the corner. Layla. I bought your favorite lemonade. He was stunned when his eyes fell on the coffee in my hand. Didn't you like lemonade before? When did you start liking coffee? I didn't answer his words and only asked, what's the matter? It's not that I haven't bought it before. But Keone always said that coffee was bitter. Not good to drink. And expensive. It was not as good as lemonade from Mixui Bing Cheng. After he said it so many times, I never bought it again. I didn't even dare to ask him to buy it for me. Keone's face didn't look good. His lips moved but he couldn't say anything. He was hesitant. I was impatient and wanted to leave. But he insisted on stopping me. Keone, can you lend me some money? Me. Is there something wrong with your head? Nothing. Me. For the first time, I experienced what it felt like to be so angry that I laughed. Can't you tell I'm scolding you? I was still thinking of scolding him a few more words. But Keone suddenly ran away. Running so fast. The lemonade hit the glass door and flew far away. Keone ran back to pick it up. It was so funny and ridiculous. It has to be said that the packaging quality of Mixui is really good. It didn't burst even after such a fall. Suddenly, B. Red's resentful voice came from behind. What did he come to you for? It startled me. B. Red's tall body was carrying my pink bunny backpack. There was a kind of contrast. Why are you carrying my school bag to the toilet? I want to eat with you. I'm afraid you'll run away. Me. What did your ex-boyfriend come to you for? Asking for a reunion? I tell you. You can't be soft-hearted. Me. I didn't. As we walked, B. Red stuck close to me. His whole body was hot. Oh. Stay away from me. The heat is about to pass to me. B. Red looked aggrieved. Are you thinking about getting back together with that dandruff shampoo? Me. What the hell is dandruff shampoo? Since she and Keone got together, they rented a house off campus and started living together. Natalie posted moments every day about going out to play with Keone everywhere and rarely returned to the dormitory. Natalie was showing her roommates her gold bracelet. This was bought for me by brother Keone. He said that we are childhood sweethearts and know each other well. He is at ease spending money on me. Lila picked up the bracelet and weighed it. Puzzled. She said, huh? Why is the weight different from Layla's? Natalie's face changed. She took back the bracelet. The grams are different. Seeing me, she suddenly pulled me and held the bracelet in front of me and asked, Layla, has Keone ever bought you any expensive gifts? Then it seemed as if she suddenly realized something. Sorry. Layla. Keone said that before. He just didn't see his own heart clearly and delayed you. I'm really sorry. You won't blame us, will you? She had a pitiful and aggrieved look, which was very disgusting. I quickly pulled her hand away and waved my hands repeatedly. No delay. No delay. I murmured in my heart. You too. A jerk and a slut are a perfect match. Natalie's tears fell instantly, even faster than an actor. Layla, I know Keone is your first love. You can't forget him. But we are already together. I rolled my eyes and interrupted her. Stop. I have no nostalgia for the second-hand Andra shampoo. If you like it, take it. Don't be polite. Lila and Olivia beside me burst out laughing, and then went about their business. No one paid attention to her. Natalie stood awkwardly in place with the bracelet. At night, when I was taking a shower, I heard Lila call Layla. I quickly came out wrapped in a bath towel. I thought something was wrong. When I came out, Lila came over with a worried look and showed me her phone. Keone posted on the confession wall. A short Tesai accused me of spending his money lavishly during our relationship. Later, I broke up with him because I despised him for being poor. Now he asked me to return all his expenses during our relationship. He also attached screenshots of the bills. From big items like a set of skincare products for 49.9 yuan on Pinduoduo to small items like a bowl of Shazyanwanans we ate together. And that cup of Mixui lemonade at noon today? Can this be counted on me? In total, It was 5,136.8 yuan. With every cent accounted for. Many unsuspecting viewers below were following the trend and asking me to pay back the money. Some girls said that I should not lose face for girls. Not all girls are like this. Me. My silence was deafening. Lila was very worried and asked me what to do. What to do? Just do it. I was disgusted at noon. Now I feel extremely strong. I sorted out my payment bills overnight. I didn't know until I sorted it out. Only after sorting did I find that there were more than 20,000 yuan. 4 dates. I paid for Japanese cuisine, steak, Hai Dai Lao, McDonald's, and Starbucks, taxis, buying clothes, buying shoes, buying gifts. He didn't like me buying clothes, cosmetics, and bags for myself, in the name of being thrifty. But he accepted all the things I bought for him. Before it was 12 o'clock after I finished sorting. During this time, B. Red called several times. I didn't answer and didn't reply to his messages. I also took the bill and posted it on the confession wall. The administrator of the confession wall was very considerate. He put our submissions together and marked the follow-up. Only 5 minutes after it was posted. Kayoni commented below, "My girlfriend posted this with my phone. It's not my intention. But who can't see such a clumsy act? College students are just naive. Not really stupid." Alas. The public opinion turned. Everyone was commenting and scolding him for being a jerk and losing face. Please disappear automatically. Otherwise, if I see you, I will splash feces on you. I spoke harshly. I'll leave first. The most liked comment was one asking him to pay back the money. I messaged Dean Adelie in the class group. Is Liu Qingyang with you? Please ask him to pay back the money. In the next second, Natalie directly quit the group. There were all kinds of comments. Before I could finish reading them, the confession wall was updated again. It was B. Red. This conspicuous guy. B. Red, the girl I like is so excellent. I was already not good enough. Now even the advantage of being rich is gone. He posted screenshots of buying things for me and my transfer to him, as well as screenshots of returning his transfer to me. He also attached the list of scholarship recipients from last school year. My name was clearly on it. After the barbecue restaurant video was posted last time, the classmates affectionately called him Brother Pan, the Pan of Rebound Guy. Now it has changed. He has become Brother Golden Pan. B. Red immediately sent a message. It was an emoji asking for praise. Am I great? I replied with a thumbs up. Then this conspicuous guy started making more demands. B. Red, then can I call you baby? B. Red, then can I invite you to an art exhibition on the weekend? I was about to refuse. B. Red, the Shiyu exhibition. Me. He really knows how to do it. After this incident, Keone and Natalie never appeared again. Natalie not only didn't return to the dormitory but also didn't go to class. She didn't update moments anymore. It was as if she had suddenly disappeared. But it had nothing to do with me. On the weekend, I put on makeup. When I was changing into the 4th set of clothes, Olivia couldn't help but speak. Going on a date with B. Red? I nodded and then shook my head. I'm going to see an art exhibition. Olivia and Lila looked at me with mischievous smiles at the same time. Really? It's mainly to see the exhibition. Yes. That's right. Also, B. Red invited me many times before. To amusement parks. To watch movies. To Fawn to Wild. To the zoo. Etc. I refused all of them. This time I finally agreed to him once. I should pay more attention. Finally, I wore a color-blocking spliced short skirt, which matched the style of the art exhibition we were going to see today. When I went downstairs, B. Red was already waiting downstairs in the dormitory. The moment he saw me, his eyes lit up instantly. There were twinkles like stars. He stared at me in a daze. The young man's Adam's apple moved slightly. The intense gaze made people's cheeks burn. I walked up to him with my head down and softly reminded, "Let's go." Only then did B Red come to his senses. "Oh. Okay. Let's go." I felt that he was about to jump up while walking. He was so happy and silly. We had just walked to the school gate and were waiting for a car. A haggard-looking aunt suddenly grabbed me. Very excited. "You are my son's girlfriend." I was scared. Hearing her words, I subconsciously looked at B Red. B Red pulled away her hand and stood in front of me, frowning and with a tough attitude. The aunt looked at me and then at B Red. She became even more excited. "I didn't. She is Layla. She is my son's girlfriend." Saying that, she excitedly wanted to pull me again. Fortunately, B Red was blocking. "Where is my son? After spending so much of my son's money, how dare you be with another man?" I suddenly remembered that this seemed to be Keone's mother. Keone once used a photo of him and his mother as his phone wallpaper. "Auntie, Keone and I broke up long ago." "What breakup?" "I saw you going out to play with my son 2 days ago. You urged my son to take out a loan and spend money. Now you say it's over just like that? Return my hard-earned money." Mother Lou became more and more excited as she spoke. She pulled B Red hard. I could even see her spittle flying on B Red's face. During the struggle, Mother Lou slapped B Red and scratched him a few times. Instantly, there were several bloody marks on B Red's face and neck. I saw B Red raise his hand and then put it down. He wanted to push her away but didn't dare to use too much force. "Auntie, Keone hasn't returned to school for almost 2 weeks. They really have broken up." But Mother Lou couldn't listen at all. She immediately started making a scene. "Oh my God. Cheating for money. This little bitch cheated my son into taking out a loan and now wants to leave without a care. Return my hard-earned money. You heartless bitch. Return the gold bracelet. This is my son's." She suddenly pushed B Red away and pounced on me. She pressed on me, took off the bracelet on my hand and rushed out. There was a classmate parking a shared electric bike by the side of the road. Mother Lou got on it and charged towards me and B Red. "Crush you. Crush you." This action was so sudden. B Red was just helping me up. Before I could react, I was pushed away by B Red. Instead, he was hit. Then Mother Lou drove away on the electric bike. "She's really crazy." Crazy. The classmate whose bike was taken was stunned. I haven't clicked to return the bike. What should I do? I got up and went to see B Red. "B Red. Are you okay? How are you?" B Red covered his bleeding leg and leaned on me. "I'm fine." Saying he was fine. But there was a lot of blood. A lot of blood. What should I do? As taught in first aid class. Stop bleeding from a distance. B Red had bleeding on his calf. With trembling hands, I took off the belt of my skirt. "You. Bear with it." I tied the belt on his thigh to compress and stop the bleeding. B Red groaned. His face turned red. "It must be very painful." I comforted him. "Bear with it. An ambulance has been called." The guard uncle came out to see. He called the police and also dialed 120. Fortunately, we were sent to the hospital in time. After taking x-rays, it was found that there was a fracture from being hit. Fortunately, it wasn't broken. B Red was having his wound treated. I was holding his phone. After thinking for a moment, I still took off his phone case. When I saw a side profile photo of me during military training, I was relieved. The police uncle briefly took our statements in the ward and told us to rest well and then left. Looking at B Red's leg wrapped in bandages, I couldn't help feeling a sense of guilt. I'm really sorry. If Mother Lou's actions of snatching property and injuring people by riding a bike were extremely. At this time, she had been arrested. There are surveillance cameras at the school gate, which clearly captured everything. Mother Lou made a scene and rolled on the ground in the police station. She stuffed the gold bracelet into her underwear and protected it tightly. "This was bought by my son. I just took it back. That little bitch urged my son to take out so many loans and hooked up with another man. You should arrest that little bitch." The matter was so serious that it alarmed two instructors and parents from both sides. Mom and Dad came overnight with the invoice and receipts for purchasing the bracelet. When they saw me, Mom carefully looked me over. She hugged me tightly. "It's good that you're okay. It's good that you're okay." Dad thanked B. Red profusely and asked me to take good care of him. For this reason, during B. Red's recovery period, he always made me do things for him. The counselor came to our dormitory to inquire about Natalie's news. She said that after Keone and Natalie got together, due to their extravagant spending, buying luxury goods, and traveling everywhere, their living expenses were quickly spent. Once Natalie insisted that Keone give her a gold bracelet. Keone didn't have the money and was forced to take out a loan online. After they tasted the sweetness, they took out more and more loans, and used new loans to pay off old ones. Natalie was deceived into taking out a new loan. In the end, they couldn't pay it back. They were chased for debts. They didn't dare to go out during the day. They had no job and no money. They helplessly took the gold bracelet to sell it, but found that it was gold-plated silver. There was only a little more than 1 gram of gold peeled off. When they were found by the police, the two were hiding in a cramped and dilapidated rental house in a city village. There was only a single bed in the room. There was no toilet. There were rotten and stinky takeout boxes all around. On the day of mediation, when they met in the police station, Mother Lou pounced on Natalie as soon as she saw her and started slapping her on both sides. "I didn't expect it to be you. This little vixen. You've been a flirt since you were young. What status do you have to seduce my son? You bitch. Just like your mother. You are a slut and a tramp. Return my hard-earned money." Uncle Policeman and Keone quickly pulled his mom away. Mom, don't hit. Natalie is pregnant." But it was too late. When Mother Lou was pulled up, she kicked Natalie, who was lying on the ground. She couldn't hold back. The kick landed on her lower abdomen. Natalie let out a wail. Soon, a pool of bright red blood flowed out from under her. Dad covered my eyes beside me. B. Red sat in a wheelchair and blocked in front of me. I saw through the gaps between my fingers that Keone's face was as usual. He even glanced in my direction. It was chilling. Rather than being controlled, Mother Lou was more like being frightened. The change came so suddenly that there was another flurry of activity on the scene. Later, the bracelet was taken back by the policeman. But Mother Lou's intentional injury and robbery were definite. When determining the compensation, B. Red didn't ask for it. He also kindly wrote a letter of understanding from Mother Lou. Keone still had a lot of online loans to pay back. This compensation would do. When Keone heard this, his face turned white and then red. In the end, he just said in a low voice, "Thank you." Later, I accidentally saw the chat records in B. Red's group. In the school's communication group, he had anonymously sent a recommendation message for a small loan. I just swiped past it and didn't pay attention. On the day I took B. Red to have his cast removed. After the cast was removed, the doctor asked him to slowly get used to it. When the doctor went out, after taking 2 steps, he collapsed on the bed and wouldn't get up. I asked him, "What's wrong? Is your leg uncomfortable?" B. Red ostentatiously covered his chest. "No. I still feel very uncomfortable. I don't think I can recover so quickly." Me. "Big brother. You were injured in the leg, not the chest." If it weren't for the fact that he had just recovered from his injury, I really wanted to beat him up. As a result, the person on the bed squirmed even more. "No matter what. I'm not well. I'm just uncomfortable. I can only get better if you agree to be my girlfriend." "All right." B. Red suddenly sat up straight. "What did you say?" I sighed. I said I agreed. The disbelief in B. Red's eyes instantly turned into surprise. "Ah!" He jumped down from the bed and jumped next to me. Just as he reached out to hug, the gray-haired doctor just entered from the door. He pushed his glasses. "Oh, youth is great. The recovery is really fast." Later, I was in the dormitory dressing up beautifully. I was going to an art exhibition with Be Red later. The one we didn't see before. Natalie came back. She came back to pack her things. The counselor said that she and Keone had been expelled. Natalie stared at me, who was applying lipstick in front of the mirror. There was a complicated look in her eyes. Layla, you must be very proud. I flung my small bag over my shoulder and nodded. Yes. Of course I was proud. My boyfriend was still waiting for me downstairs to go to the art exhibition together. As soon as I walked out of the dormitory building door, I ran into Keone. He had a scruffy beard and was wearing a wrinkled white shirt. It seemed to be the one I bought for him before. Keone saw me. His eyes lit up and he came up and pulled me. I was startled. I shook off his hand. What are you doing? Are you crazy? Layla. Before I was possessed. Natalie lied to me and said that you were a gold-digging woman who only loved money. I know I was wrong. Let's make up. You don't know how much I miss you. I wiped the place he touched and asked coldly, does Natalie know what you said? I've already broken up with Natalie. Saying that, he was about to come up and pull me again. But he was pushed several steps away by a big hand. Be Red had a gloomy face. Please stay away from my girlfriend. Keone's face flushed red. His mouth opened but he couldn't say anything. I poked my head out from behind Be Red. Actually, you're wrong. I really like money. Keone's face turned pale and he was stunned in place. Suddenly Natalie pushed him from behind. He hit the iron door and made a loud noise. Natalie went up and kicked. You jerk. I knew you didn't have good intentions by following. Still thinking about rekindling old flames. Dream on. I quickly pulled Be Red and left, leaving behind bursts of wailing. We can't be late for the art exhibition. Be Red held my hand. You like money? You should have said so earlier. Immediately after that, my phone kept beeping nonstop. From now on, all our family's money is yours. I looked at the series of numbers on Alipay and almost let out a sharp scream. The corners of my mouth couldn't be suppressed.